There we go. You been enjoying it?
Oh yeah, it's amazing. Loved
Oh,
it so
good, good,
much.
good, good.
Um, so I want to just dive in because this is a big episode for you.
Yeah.
So we learn about Calian's sister and her disappearance and how she led Calian to be a tracker.
hmm
So what did you find most surprising about his story, or maybe something that you love the most about that whole story unfolding?
You know, so in episode 3 is when we first see Nasha's character, his sister, pop up, and so she was originally just written as a little girl that kind of encounters Callian. It was kind of like a funny moment because he's so good at being elusive, and nobody could kind of see him except this little kid. It was this funny little moment. And I actually talked to the showrunner. I was like, hey, what if she's more than that? What if she's a vision of Callian's, somebody from his past, or maybe somebody that he did something to he regrets. Like, we don't know if it was like she got caught in the crossfire at one point. Like, I don't know what it is, but let's think about that idea for a second. And I just threw it out there because I was like, it could be really interesting to kind of see where Callian came from. And about a week, or no, a couple of days before we started filming that episode, he showrunner calls me. He's like, hey, we're gonna run with that story. So, and he just kind of gave me the heads up there. I didn't know which way they're going to go. I didn't know if it was going to be his daughter, or again, like, it could have been anything. And then he lets me know, hey, like, she's going to be your sister. She's going to get taken. Oh, by the way, this is going to come out after the episode, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. Like, I'm giving you way too much. Um, he's like, hey, it's going to be your sister who got taken when you guys were kids, and you couldn't save her, and you've been looking for her ever since. And I thought that was really beautiful because I don't know if you're familiar, but there's a whole epidemic of missing and murdered Indigenous women across this country, and Canada, and other countries as well. It's like Indigenous women are more likely to go missing than any other ethnicity. I think by like 10 times the number, which is just insane. And this highlights that a little bit in a way that is, you know in a way that's not kind of, you're not shoving statistics down anyone's throat, but you're kind of highlighting an issue that has to do with colonialism and like the effects of it, and the impact that it's had on native communities and tribes and nations. And so I was really thankful for this storyline. Coming in, sorry, I'll move faster, but coming into this whole thing, I kept talking to the showrunner about, I had to create a backstory for myself that made sense for me, why I cared so much for Abby and why I was so gung ho on helping her. Just because, historically with Westerns and Native characters, it's like, it couldn't just be because she was this beautiful woman, and in particular, a beautiful white woman. It couldn't be that for me personally, because that's just been the same old thing. It's like everyone drops everything for X, Y, or Z. And I was like, I always had to give it more meaning. So it was nice when I finally got the script. It kind of it tied all that together, and gave me all of the motivation, the thing I've been working with for myself. It just kind of solidified all that. So it was great.
There were so many poignant moments involving Callian in this episode, between the speech at the trial and then his final words, which aided Tom into cutting the rope. And we got to see him be a little bit more emotional than we've ever seen him before. So,
Yeah.
can you talk a little bit about filming some of those more heart wrenching kind of scenes?
Yeah. You could prepare as an actor, and different actors prepare in different ways. Uh, Nasha was played by my daughter. So I think in some ways there was just a lot there already, just very easily. In fact, when I watched this episode back, I cry like every time. I cried reading the script. It's so heartbreaking in ways. But on the day, you could be as prepared as you want. But sometimes, there's a number of factors that come into it. There's people around, there's camera setups, they're moving around. So just for me, I just try to kind of stay focused and true to, try to sit in Callian, and just stay true to what he's feeling, what he's thinking. And sometimes it's tough to do that, and luckily I have great cast members who are so supportive, and great crew, and just people that that you feel safe around, and that's a big part of it for me as well. It's like you got to feel safe to be vulnerable. But I was also thankful that they let me be vulnerable and that they wrote something that allowed me to show a different side of Calian, because um, I think I mentioned this to you when we last spoke. It's like that was one of my fears coming in, is that we weren't going to see a dimensional character, like we are just going to see, you know, we weren't going to see anything complex. We're going to see just this standard native character. And so I was really grateful for that. And some of those moments kind of came about on their own, like you never quite know exactly when it's going to hit you. You could prepare for that, but there's something nice about being in the moment and letting it all kind of come.
So we see, and we have been seeing more and more of Gus and Callian's relationship. And Gus always seemed to have, Callian's back and stood for him at the trial. So is that something we're still going to explore more?
Yeah. Moving forward, Augustus and Callian's relationship has been so important to us since the beginning, for me and Philly, who plays Augustus. And since day one, like as soon as we got to Santa Fe to shoot the pilot, like I called him up. I was like, "Hey, where are you at?" He's like, "I'm in my hotel room." I'm like, "Hey, let's meet. Let's talk about this. Like, how do we know each other? What's our deal?" Because that wasn't written for us yet, and you create all these ideas, and it's funny because then you get a script that like reveals certain things, and you're like, "Oh, that's not the way we saw it, but that works too." You know what I mean? But it's such an important relationship, and we're always trying to find that truth when he and I have scenes together, and sometimes literally we'll only have a couple of lines to say to each other, and but we're always trying to find and bring as much of that reality to it when we work together, and just bring all that history in, because that relationship deserves it. These characters deserve to have just to have that attention paid to them.
So the last time we talked, it was right before the series even premiered. So now that we're in the mid-season finale, and Callian has become such a beloved character, what has the fan response been like for you?
Oh man, I'm bad about knowing exactly. I don't have Twitter, and I think that's where a lot of the response
Yeah.
comes in. My wife has Twitter, so she'll share like the great ones with me, like some of the funnier things people say. But I think it's been good. I mean, I like to focus on work and just stay there, and I'm hoping that people are receiving Callian well and connecting with him, and I'm hoping that he's a character people want to see more of. I don't edit or write the thing, but every moment I get on screen, I try to make the most out of it. So he could be exciting and dynamic and complex, and yeah, I think people like Callian. I don't know. He hasn't taken his shirt off yet. My wife is really disappointed by that, but it's kind of like a joke that we have now, because Matt Barr's abs are everywhere.
No,
Rightfully so. They're amazing.
everybody loves the show. So,
Yeah.
all I see are really great things about how much people love the show and the cast, and so congratulations to all of you on it.
Thank you. Thank you. We love making it, honestly. We're sad that we're gonna have to, we're coming to the end of season one, and we're gonna sit around and see what happens next. But we absolutely love it here and love everyone involved.
So, and then last question for you.
Mhm.
So we see Callian go to leave Independence at the end of the episode. So kind of what can we look forward to when we come back from the break?
Oh,
Little tease.
a little tease. I can't tell you much. Obviously, Callian is tied to this town and these people, and so he's not going to disappear forever. But yeah, I think it's going to be, there's some fun stuff coming up ahead that you'll get to see a little bit different side of Callian, and but yeah, it's that was always a challenge for this character to begin with, is like, how do we get Callian into town when he's so hesitant, and especially after what happens to him in 7, it's like, whoa, wait, how are we going to get him to come back to this town? Like, will he come back? I don't know. You have to wait and see.
Sounds good. Well, thank you again for talking to me. I appreciate it.
Thank you so much. I love talking with you. Thank you.
Of course. All right. Have a good day.
You too.